What advice you give? I'm interviewing you now. What are you? I got my own.
Yeah.
What advice you, Nino, give to barbers that now they work inside a barber shop now as a collaborator, as a employee, whoever a barber working for somebody else right now. What advice or a step by step that they can take towards become a business owner, a barbershop owner? You.
What's going on, guys? This is Nino TV. This episode is brought to you guys by Invictus Podcast Studios here in Coconut Creek. Today we got some special guests. They allowed us to use their studio and bring on this interview that you guys been waiting for. Good information. They have they're very successful people in the industry. Own a barbershop, own a podcast studio. Check them out at the Black Belt Barber Podcast. And today we have Tico Invictus in the house.
Hello,
What's
hello.
going on,
Thank
Tico?
you very much for the invitation, man. I think this was going to be a great podcast that everybody's watching. Thank you very much for watching.
Awesome. We also have his awesome wife, Ligia.
Thank you for the awesome.
We were just talking about, how Ligia keeps a lot of stuff on point. She's a very organized person, and we love that, right, Tico? That's
Yes.
awesome.
I'm making sure there's order here between the guys.
First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for letting us use this platform. Like I said, this is brought to you guys by Invictus Podcast Studios. You guys can follow them on Instagram. If you guys want some studio time, this is the place to go. If you're in the area, anywhere from Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, this is the studio that you're looking for. They have all your needs. It's efficient. You're able to use it on your own. So let's jump in real quick, Tico. Let's talk a little bit about you, a little bit about your background. We know that you have a lot of stuff in store now. We talked before we ended up getting this podcast started. And I feel like you have a lot of good information for a lot of those barbers and a lot of those people that are out there, or even future barbers. So I don't want to spoil it. I'm going to let you talk upon it, right? Also, Ligia, she's going to be talking a little bit about it too. But let's start out with you.
Let me introduce myself. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Give me an hour to introduce myself.
Wow, an hour.
That's a lot.
Okay.
So, hey, everybody. Thank you again for the invitation. My name is Tico. I call Tico Invictus on Instagram. So anybody can find me there. I've been a barber for over 20 years already. I'm Brazilian, and I came from a very small village in Brazil. Lived half of my life there from the countryside. And I have a background there. My two grandparents and my father were barber. I'm the third generation of barber in my family. My career really started when I came from Brazil at 17 years old, came to Boston. And after that, I just want to tell you again that I have ADHD, and I just noticed you have. That didn't prevent me becoming a successful barber, you know.
Yes, sir.
And starting at a popular shop in a low-income community barbershop in Framingham, Massachusetts. Now, Invictus Group has 3 companies. We have the barbershop, which is a high-end barbershop in Coconut Creek, where I have my own VIP spot there that I can serve my clients. I'm currently, right now, charging $100 per cut. And we have the Invictus Institute of Barbering, which is the school where we teach anybody. We teach people to become high-performance barbers. And also we have courses from apprentice to advance. And we just gave all the explanation here at the podcast. This podcast, the studio, was built in our own needs. I was looking for a studio to create my own podcast, to create content for my social media, to create content for our website. And we couldn't find something like this that we built. And then in this studio, I create everything I need for all platforms. I even record my online classes for barbers here, and that's who I am. And here today, we're gonna be talking about a great content that will help a lot of listeners, which is education. And I have invested over 150K in my own education with the best around the world, even Josh O.P., Josh LaMonica, Eagle Barbers, Cel Elias, Vidal Sassoon, Paul Mitchell. But not only, like many people are watching right now, many barbers, right? But cutting hair is just a fraction of what you need to know and learn to become a barber with a high performance, for instance, to become successful. It's just a fraction. How about you, babe?
Tico?
He's like, how about you, babe? It's your turn.
Yeah.
Like, let me not take over, right?
Exactly.
Let's Nino take over, okay, Nino?
Yeah.
No.
Let's Nino run the podcast. It's his
No.
show.
No,
Okay,
that But yeah, let's hear a little bit about Ligia. Ligia, we know that you probably don't cut hair, right? A lot of
Right.
people are probably questioning, well, if he's the barber, what does she do?
Exactly.
Oh,
What is
that's
my
a big
role?
question.
They always ask. That's true. They always ask what I do. They say, "Do you cut hair?" No, I don't. So basically, I get Tico's crazy ideas and help him make them happen because I'm very organized. So I take care of the finances, accounting, marketing, everything. Right now, the barbershop is under renovations. I'm taking care of the GC and the architect and everything. So payroll, basically everything to run the business, inventory, taking care of the cleaning company, the marketing company. And Tico can be free to be the artist, to be the teacher, to be the mentor for barbers.
So
and
you run all the important
And
stuff.
all my life, she runs my dog's life. My,
yes, everything.
my life,
the
the
car,
business. Yeah.
insurance, car maintenance, taxes,
You
the house.
you run the important stuff because
Yes.
it's so frustrating. Now, I'm a firm believer that without a clear mind, it's hard, especially for us, like people like I said with ADHD. Without a clear mind and without that help, it's hard for us to really think and to come out with that new projection of what we really want to come out. Right?
Right.
And you have that person right next to you.
I organize his ideas
Yes.
because he has too many ideas. He's hyper. He wants to go to the moon, and the next day he wants to
And
go
she
to
organized
Mars.
my trip. If I want to go to the moon, she organized my trip.
Yeah.
Definitely. She will jump on the boat. It's hard to sell the idea, but
After he sell me the idea, I start planning each step, how we're going to achieve that. And then in the beginning, we used to fight about it because he was all crazy. But once I understand that he's an artist, he's creative, and he has ADHD, so his mind is spinning 1,000 miles per hour, I started, okay, Tico, tell me more about this. Let's see how we can make it happen. And I started organizing and helping him achieve that.
So have you always been like this, or is this something?
Organized?
Yes.
Yes.
since little.
That, yeah. It's something I have. It's my ability. I'm very organized. I keep playing. I'm good with numbers. I'm good in creating process. So we're using both abilities in our favor. I understand what he needs. He understands what I need. Because sometimes he's too crazy for me because his mind is spinning. So he has to slow down a little
I
bit.
want to improve myself badly. When I start watching her doing all this stuff, I say, wow, I don't want to stay behind. I want to learn all this. I want to learn how to read like her. I want to learn how to speak like her, like to be organized. And actually, she's my big inspiration. She's my big... First
That
is
is
Jesus
awesome.
Christ is my big inspiration.
Amen. That's awesome. That's
but
awesome.
second is my wife, she's my biggest inspiration. Like, let's do it when it needs to be done.
Right.
You know?
And I have to calm him down. Wait, Tico, this is not for now. We can't. Because he's all hyper. He wants to get things done. But he just gives the idea and he
And she-
doesn't
put her to
understand
work.
the process. Okay, Tico, to build a studio, that's a lot involved. For him, it's like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is done. No, there's a process.
It takes more than that, right?
There's planning.
Hey, but I admire that they actually salute her for what she does, right?
She don't get paid, though. I don't
that-
pay.
He paid me with love.
that takes a lot, right? That a lot of men don't actually. Sometimes they won't even say, "Hey, that's my biggest, admiration, right? That I admire her for what she does." Though that's awesome that it comes from you, and let her know that that I think is
Yes.
very important, because then she feels that value of, hey, at least he values what I'm doing for him.
Exactly. He's
You
not
know?
complaining and
Yes.
arguing. He's just supporting me.
Yes.
And also, I support him a lot in everything he wants to do and his crazy ideas.
There's this guru in Brazil. He says, a single man is not functioning in a society. So why what I'm trying to say is there's many couples that doesn't work together because they have too much conflict with each other and can become like in a divorce or end up in a divorce or anything like that. But if you do jump in a boat with your husband or with your wife, you guys can become a strong springboard to jump you guys forward, push you forward.
100%.
Yeah.
Because imagine if instead of having me taking care of all that, he had to hire someone. This person doesn't have the same best interest as I do. Because of course,
wife,
if
yeah.
he succeed, I'm succeeding
winning
as
too,
well.
yep.
So I'm doing my best, even if I don't get paid, because it's our dream. If you have an employee, a manager, whoever, it's not the same as your wife, your partner.
And if you don't want to pay anybody or you couldn't afford pay somebody, the curve of learning all that,
It takes a long
years
time.
and takes a lot of money and
And if
energy.
that
Yeah?
person leaves, let's say it's an employee, and then you have to train somebody else, like Tico, I don't cut hair, but I know everything about hair because I'm by his side when he's teaching, when he's showcasing, when he's creating his slideshows, or his workbook for the students. So I'm always there, and then I help him, like, because he's a barber, he knows. And I put myself in the position, I don't know. How would that student feel about it? And I tell him, hey, Tico, I think this is complicated. Can you explain better to me? Because if I understand, it means everybody will be able to understand. So I forgot why I was talking about that. But
But that's important. I know that you said you forgot, but I want to jump off on that. That's very important because as business owners, you guys run a barbershop. So it's very important that you can recognize when something is wrong, even if you don't know how to cut hair. My biggest thing is, as a barber, I hear from a lot of my clients, biggest judgmental person is their wife.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
So that's very important.
No, but you need that person in your life.
Don't take it for granted. Don't take it as, oh, they're going to look at me that I'm. That's very important. I think especially in the business that we're in, it's very important to have that person to be able to point something out
And be
have the
honest.
knowledge. They don't necessarily need to know how to cut hair,
Right.
but you can actually see when something is wrong.
100%.
So-
I even tell Tico when I see the barbers, they're still developing, they're still in training, and I tell Tico, but of course I'm not a barber. I can point where he's doing mistakes, but I say, Tico, this barber needs help, like this fade or this curly hair or whatever. It's not good. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to teach them, but I can point to Tico what's wrong, or even the customer service or whatever. Like whatever they do, I know. And then I tell Tico, hey, give him training, because I have this knowledge being by his side all the time. If it's an employee, it's not the same because employees leave. Let's say it's a receptionist or a manager, not necessarily they will be with you always. And I'm with Tico always. Like, there's no way he would not have me.
There's something that come in my mind right now is we don't have to master everything.
No.
I suffer so much. I frustrate myself so much because I wanted to follow her path, like learning how to be so organized. I learned how to deal with the spreadsheets and other. That's not my role in terms of like my abilities with people. It's training. It's all that, the cutting.
Yes.
That's my ability. I need to improve in that. Of course, in a little bit of more abilities in terms of speaking in public and technical part. But when it comes to, we can master everything. We need people to join and help us with this.
Exactly. I can't
Yeah, because you
want to
focus on mastering that
Master that craft.
that you're really good at, right? Which is what happens with a lot of us, like you say, with ADHD. We end up trying to become master of everything. What is it? Jack of what's the saying? The jack of
I don't know in
Say in
English.
English.
jack of all
I don't
trades and master of none.
No,
True.
right? Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah,
So that's what
exactly.
happens. and you want to try to really maximize in what you really know, and slowly but surely keep learning. Personal development and like when I mean personal development, like growth in yourself, so where you're changing those bad habits. I think one of the books that talks about that is Atomic Habits. I don't know if you've ever read it.
It's on my list.
It's on your list. I think that's one of the books that actually talks about that is the atomic habits that sometimes we have that we need to work on, but it takes so much time, to really, they say it's like the gym. They say go for 30 days and you don't have that discipline, so you go for 30 days, right? And then go for another 30 days. And when you come and see you're 90 days in, now you're creating a habit and breaking a habit of that bad habit of something that you didn't have, right?
The conversation here prior to before we turn on the cameras, right? I was saying to you that everything's connected to us.
Yes.
If you don't change, nothing will change. Basically, that's the basic idea of thinking about if you want something change in your life, more money, a better marriage, or if you want to become, be a better father, you have to change yourself first, and then the results around you will change. That's it.
This personal development is very important. But talking about the abilities each one have, and we notice that most barbers, they do have ADD, and they're more artistic.
Out of 10, 9 have that I teach.
Yes.
Yes, it's a lot.
And
That's because That's
ahead.
because I'm cutting you off every time.
It's okay.
I talk a lot. So it's just because that's why we choose this profession, because we don't want to be sitting in a college or
In front of a computer.
in front of a
All day
computer
long.
all day long reading this much of book,
Yeah.
like 350 pages. We like to study what we like. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And you guys are creative people. When I say like you guys are creative people, it's because I don't have that creativity. I'm very organized, but I don't have the mind Tico has. He can look at a person and see the haircut already done. He can imagine that. I can't. Like, hell no, it doesn't work like that. My mind is different. I'm thinking about process, numbers. I'm different. So I was talking about, the abilities. So we divided our roles. I won't be like Tico and he won't be like me. But instead of being an issue and he's trying to be like me and I'm trying to be like him, let's use what we already have as a gift that we are doing very well. So I get the parts that I do very well of the business, of running the business, and Tico gets the part he does very well. And then we respect each other and we support each other. So it's not heavy because we're splitting roles, but based on his abilities and my abilities, what I like to do and I'm good at, and what he likes to do. So it's the weight is less
Yes.
of running the business.
You take off a lot of weight on him, and then you're able to focus on what you know and
Yes.
utilize that time
Instead of
to be
trying
able
to learn things that are not my abilities.
Yes.
Like Tico can learn Excel spreadsheets, but it's going to be a frustration. He doesn't like it. It's not enjoyable for him. Why? Let me do it. I do well. I love Excel, so let him be the artist.
So let's talk about you. You like educating, right? That's like your passion. For those that don't know, Tico has done. He's had You had a course, hands-on course here in Coconut Creek, where some of my friends have came and gotten his course, and they loved it. They've seen growth in them. How do you deal with that? Since you were saying that you have a lot of barbers that have like ADHD, or how because it's hard for you if you have that habit that you're not able to help them with that same habit as well.
I believe God gave me this gift, like having this talent to cutting hair, right? Let's say it. My journey with ADHD aligns what I do now, what is my purpose in life. My purpose is to help others with education, because I believe that education, knowledge is the only way that will break you out of the box. They will open doors, the next and the next and the next door, right? So my purpose in life is to change, helping barbers with what I know. So based in what I've been through and how I overcame, now I can teach like easy. I can understand like, oh, this kid has ADHD. I have to have a different approach, you know. And everybody learns in a different pace. Everybody learns in a different way. And I've been educating myself to learn how to read people, how to understand, okay, I'm going to have to take it easy on this one. I'm going to have to talk, you know. So
yes, because you can recognize it when you see it.
When
Because
I
you're like,
see
oh,
it.
wait a minute.
I have 10
acts
students
like me
at a
certain
time.
point.
Everybody has a different personality.
Yeah.
Everybody have a different mindset in the way they learn. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that Tico shares with me, like some students, they are more technical. They want to see the instructions, they want to see the diagram, they need to understand prior to starting the haircut. Others are more hands-on, they don't care about the diagram, they just want to do it.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
and some are very hyper, some are slow. So he would adapt his teaching to each
To
one,
each
which
one.
is awesome. So he can really help
Sometimes
that
I'm
person
teaching
learn.
one on this end, on this chair.
Mhm.
The other guy on the last chair, he's just watching what I'm saying. He's already doing it.
Because
Right.
he
Some-
understands.
He
He
Just
understands
by
just looking
looking.
and listening. So, but I catch that quick. In the first week, I just, this, I can work out something like
So
this. Like
who
that.
deals with the people, the analytical people, like you were saying, the ones that they want to read everything and find out, well, how do I do this? You're the person that deals with the analytical people because I'm pretty sure you're the one that you do that on a daily basis. Like, you know,
Right.
okay, if you read this page or you read this, it goes here, 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 here. And he's more of the hands-on to where, look, this is the way you do it.
Yeah,
Right.
the analytical people as barber training with me. I don't know if there was a question.
Yes.
Those guys, I have to go technically and speak like technically words and go step by step, breaking down everything to them. That's how they learn. Let's say if I want to break a haircut down in a diagram, that's easier for them. But some people can't even understand what I'm saying with the diagram. That's how I learned. My path became something that I overcame. Now became my strength to teach others that has with the same difficulties, you know, which ADHD and dyslexia.
Yeah, for sure his ADHD helps him be a better teacher.
But only
and understand
because
people.
I overcame.
Yes.
Only.
True.
You
because
worked on that.
so hard.
That's what a lot of people have to understand because a lot of people be watching this and they'll be like, oh, well, isn't it? No, you got to work on that. That's something that it needs work. If you don't decide to attack and overcome that situation, you're always going to be in that stuck mentality or stuck in that situation to where you're stuck. And like you said, you worked on it.
And for the ones that are
overcome.
watching, the easiest way to overcome that is to kind of have to have awareness of your weakness, of your abilities, of your strength, what the bad habits that you are already in it. Just be aware of that. Once you be aware of that, that's gonna bother you if you're not
Yes.
aware of that. But there's levels of awareness. Awareness.
Yeah.
My English. Awareness. I think that I'll have the 4 levels of awareness. One is when you don't know, you just don't know, you just do it. And I'm just gonna say 2. And the second one, when you know it and you don't do it. It's just like the Bible, the word. Once you learn the word and you listen to the word, now you know you're doing wrong.
Yep.
Yes.
And you keep doing wrong, that's gonna bother you.
Yep.
It happened with me. So
Right.
the first step is be aware.
Yeah. And I think because I'm very organized, I also can help Tico be more organized, like giving him tips, like do this, do that, write down. And then he helps him being more organized with his mind, that it's always spinning between so many things, so many ideas. So I think that helps him too. And taking small steps, right? Change one thing at a time. Don't try to change everything because you're going to
But
fail.
it's hard. It really is
Very.
hard. It's hard to slow down for us. Sometimes it's like, man, if I slow down, I'm gonna miss out on this on this over here that's happening. You know, which is what you were saying earlier. Sometimes you open up one box and uncomplete that box, and then you're jumping onto a different box and not
Right.
being, not
Never
being
go deep enough.
And you never
Yes.
finish
Go deep
anything. We gotta finish things. But I think
Did I answer your question too?
we bring balance to each other. He makes me be less like strict with things, more flexible, and I make him be more organized in a way.
And help her to be more sociable too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
too.
it's painful. It's painful. But I can tell you, I met you guys 5 years ago, back in 2019, right before COVID. You guys ended up having an event in your shop. Beautiful shop, by the way. Those of you that haven't seen Invictus Barbershop, make sure you make your way if you're in the area of Boca Raton or Pampano, Fort Lauderdale. Make sure you go check them out. Amazing shop, beautiful. I like the concept that you guys got going on. I remember, man, like a lot of people get overcomplicated. At that time, you guys were driving a 97 Corolla.
Thank God you brought that up. We have a video with Bird.
Oh my God, Birdman.
You remember that?
I was driving Birdman around in that car
Abre la puerta, Tico.
with no handle for the doors. You have no idea. And the ceiling was leaking when it rains, and the floor had a hole because it was all rusty and damaged. And we drove
No
that
AC,
car
nothing.
for a couple years. I have a
It's
picture.
interesting you brought that up, man.
So
I
I
love
had
that
to I
car.
had to bring it up, right? Because for me it's impactful. Like I was talking about that on my way here with Sebastian. And I was like, it's crazy how you guys went from, other people would do it backwards, right? They get the car first or they get all of this other stuff first. But you guys focus on building a beautiful barbershop.
Right.
And focusing on business. Obviously, me and you have had a conversation, about financial growth, right? So it is crazy how you sacrificed all of this because I'm going to build this and I'm going to live below my means so I can build something. So one day I'll have growth, like I said, that I wanted to do, even though, like you said, you have your challenges with your ADHD, but you have a partner that's helping you. And you can see the growth. Look, now you guys have a studio that you guys are able to open up to the public as well. Now not only now you got something else. You were talking about the school. The school is coming. I know you
Right.
want to get deep into that too. Just you can see the growth because a lot of barbers live with a lifestyle to where they don't even see 5 years ahead of them.
5 years too much.
5 years ahead of them. And in 5 years, I listen, guys, I told you guys that I met them in 2019. And look at all the changes that you guys have made in 5 years. I'm only telling you this because I want you guys to know that it's being seen, it's being recognized. So I want to recognize you guys in public that we see what you guys are doing. And we want to congratulate you. And you guys are doing an awesome job.
We've made
Right.
a lot of sacrifices, right, baby? We didn't have a TV in our house. So when Tico wanted to open the shop, we had 2 TVs. And he's like, we need a TV in the barber shop. And I said, okay, take one. He's like, no, I want 2.
Both.
And then, Tico, we're not going to have a TV at home. He's like, I don't care. I want the TVs at the barber shop. We need 2. One for the video game, one for them to watch games or whatever. And then we didn't have a TV for over a year. So we always prioritize our business first. And in my house, almost no furniture, no TV, a 97 Toyota Corolla. And like we didn't spend money on things. We built the business first.
Yeah.
And now the business is taking care of us and improving our lives.
So what'd you do with the Corolla? You guys upgraded. I know you guys
I
upgraded
sold
the
for
Corolla.
$1,000.
$1,000.
And I sold
But the
to
Corolla gave us lots of happiness,
100%.
4 wheels, 4 doors, took us anywhere from A to B.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's the thing also, appreciating each step and being the same person. Like driving a new car or living in a better house doesn't change who we are. We're the same person we were driving the Corolla, and now we can drive a better car, and eventually we're going to drive a even better one, but it doesn't change who we are. Like it's not our happiness. The car is not our happiness.
You know, the question pop out when either we would choose to open a business or buy a house. You want to do it? You want to explain?
We had the money to open the business or to put a down payment in a house, and then we decided to do the business first because we said the business can help us buy many houses.
Yes.
But the house is just a house. So we decided to put all the money towards the business. And since then, we've been reinvesting in the business. We don't have a house yet. We rent. And it's fine because
And it's
we're
fine.
growing the business.
So that's something that's a misconception that a lot of people have, right? A lot of people say, "Oh, well, if you don't have a house, you're not successful." That's a lie.
That's
You know,
a lie.
there's so many people that they have millions of dollars and they still don't own a house because they don't want that responsibility to where they have to do so many things. It takes away that mental clarity for you to think on how to be able to keep growing for a lot of people. And in
Right.
this situation, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I mean, it doesn't count because you have Ligia. That's cheating.
That's cheating. That's cheating. For sure.
That's cheating.
I think the house, of course, we dream. We want to have
Yes.
a house. It's
Yes.
very nice to have a house. But then we will have that expense and that responsibility.
Yes.
And if we need to move, if you have a house, you're less likely to move.
Mm-hmm.
And if you rent, you're fine. Let's move. Let's move to Fort Lauderdale. Let's move to West Palm. Whatever. We just go.
Not only that, you also have like other headaches. You know, like you got to cut the grass now. You got to worry
Yes.
about other responsibilities that take time from you actually being able to invest into other stuff that makes sense.
And if you do have a house, you want to invest in your house. Let's say I want to renovate the kitchen, I want to renovate the bedrooms, whatever. And then I'm not investing in my business. I'm prioritizing my house instead of my business. And I think there is the right time for everything. And it's not the right time for us to be investing in a house because we're growing the business to the point I can have the house of our dreams. We can renovate the house. We can do whatever we want. And money won't be an issue anymore. But now if I do that, I'm taking from my business. I don't want to do that.
And you went from a barbershop to a podcast studio to a school now.
Right.
To a school. That is awesome. And you still don't have a house, like you said.
Yes.
But it doesn't
Yes.
matter.
It doesn't matter. I prefer money in the bank. I prefer most Americans, they don't have savings. They don't.
Yes.
If they don't work, they're screwed. And when you have a business, this is so dangerous. So I don't remember if it was this year or last year, the AC broke and it's a commercial building and the AC is on us. Like, it's not like the landlord will fix it. And this landlord owns 80% of Florida, and that's how he works. Either you accept or you accept. So the AC broke. It was like $15,000 to replace it. It was a very old unit, so we put a very nice one. $15,000. What if I didn't have savings because I'm spending on my new car or whatever? $15,000. That month I had to come up with the money. So most people don't have savings. I think they don't plan for things that can happen.
That can happen, yeah.
Just like when she met me. So
So, talking about savings, we were talking about you making a school. You guys making a school.
Yes, with our own funds. No money from the bank.
That is crazy. You want to tell the people a little bit more about the academy that you guys are going to be having? You want to jump a little deeper into that and what's happening with the educational system of here of the state of Florida, right? With barbering, let's say not the whole school industry, right? We're talking about the academy of barbering. What's happening at these schools? Let's talk a little bit about the truth of the stuff that people don't want to talk about, what the schools don't want to really talk about.
So everything starts. I don't know if you remember. I still do go to schools and help barbers with knowledge sharing. Complimentary. I can say complimentary.
Yeah,
in this word,
you're
in this
a
term.
guest speaker in schools.
Guest speaker and like teaching what I know, and I start seeing it that wasn't enough practice. And since I have a barbershop, I was hiring collaborators to work with us as a team, and people that just graduated from school, they didn't know nothing, the technical part of, basically they went to school for all those months and spent all that money to get the license. So that frustrated me so much. And the last guy I was talking to you was Michael, American guy. He's 40 something. He been with like 4 to 5 schools, invest a lot of money. None of them delivered the promise they should
To teach him how
to
to do
teach
gray
you how to do
haircuts.
gray haircuts. They're upset
Upsets him.
that upsets me so
Oh, you.
much.
Okay.
Me.
I told him.
And him too. And one day, the first day he met me, because Ligia said, talk to him on the phone and say, Michael, go meet Tico and talk to him so he be more comfortable if you buying, because he was
He was
frustrated.
scared.
Scared
Like, what
already.
if I put all this money?
He went to 4 schools, and we can go deeper in that. And Ligia say, go and talk to Tico. He's going to make you calm. He's going to explain what we do. And I'll explain to him. He ended up crying. He say, thank God now my money is going to be worth something. And then I felt so bad for him. I say, we should keep going in the direction that we're going, which is bring innovation to barbers and training people, promising something, but really delivering what they need, which is getting the license, but also be really prepared for the market out there. I'm going to have her go
My
deeper
analytical side.
Yeah.
There's some points that I noticed. So what we noticed that in US, because of the requirement of the license, the schools are mostly focused on theory. Because at least in Florida, there is no practical exam. So the schools are so focused in that theory that they forget the most important part, which is like hands-on. And then we also notice it's a system. And I think in general, the education, how it's done, not talking just about barbering, the education in general, it's really outdated.
The
We're
conventional
living
one.
a different time now.
Yeah, I was talking to Tico about that, and I told him that one of the biggest flaws that we have right now is why are we still going off based off of my lady?
My lady.
Oh my God,
She got a
lady.
big explanation.
You know what I mean? So
I know why. I'll tell you why. So during this process of becoming a school, you need to have a methodology. You need to have books, right? And Milady doesn't have competition. They've been around since 1900s. And
ancient. That's ancient.
Ancient.
Yeah.
they're still teaching how to use instead of the flat iron, the one they use to heat with like charcoal.
Charcoals is
It's just
You don't know that?
awful. They're not talking about the disposable blades. They're talking about using and
so old,
sanitizing. It's just awful. But they don't have competition. That's why they don't improve. And the schools keep buying their material. There's nobody else doing better. No one wants to do what they did, so they're comfortable. And most schools, at least in Florida, because each state is different, and Florida is one of the worst in sense of how hard it is, most schools are owned by people that are not barbers or cosmetologists. They're just business owners looking for profit because they know how to manage business. But they don't have the passion. They don't have the knowledge what barbers really need.
They don't care for the industry.
No, because
Yeah.
they don't know the industry.
Like majority of these the franchise companies, like I was saying earlier. I don't know if I should mention names or not.
No,
but
don't say names. You don't want to get in
right,
trouble.
I know, right? But most of them, they end up hiring, kids straight out of school. When you look at their work, they're not great work, but they're making tons of money.
They
But
are.
they don't care about the culture. They don't care about what's happening. Like if they're getting good haircuts, they don't care about that. All they care is about maximizing
Their
and just,
profits.
Yes, their profits.
Same
That's it.
thing with schools, because the owners are not from the industry. They don't have this passion about the industry. And also because they hire staff to work for them, teachers, instructors, and they pay very bad. So unfortunately, sometimes the teacher has a good intention, but he cannot keep himself educated and updated because he cannot go to a $500 workshop. He can't afford, or $1,000 workshop to improve themselves. And the school is not investing on them. It's just like grab the book, milady, and teach, whatever. They don't care. As long as the students pass the state board test, they're good. But this is not real education. And times changed. So they have to, improve how they've been doing. And they're not. So Tico and I were very upset about that reality. And then that's when we said, you know what? Let's be part of the change. Let's do something. Let's stop complaining about how it is and let's do something. But when we started digging deep, how do we do that? It's very difficult to become a school in Florida. The regulation, it's very harsh,
It's insane.
difficult. Yes. that's why there's not so many barber schools, and most of them are owned by big corporations or people that are business savvy, and they have a lot of money to invest. To open a barber school can cost easily $500,000. So how come a barber cutting hair, passionate about it, can come up with $500,000 and open a school? It's not that easy, unfortunately.
So that's where I was talking to Tico about that earlier, and I said that's where our industry is broken in so many ways for that same reason, right? Starting from educating the educators, like you were saying, most of the time we have these teachers at these schools, like I said, like you were saying earlier, that the owner of the school doesn't care if that teacher is showing those students the right things, right? It's all about numbers. It's all about making the money. It's all about keeping them in for a longer period. It doesn't matter attendance, all of that. So one of my things also is that I believe that anybody that leaves a barber chair to become a teacher is they become a teacher because they couldn't make it in the barber industry. All right. I'm not saying everybody, because I got respect for a lot of people out there, you know, a lot of educators that are actually like they're actually barbers, and they own schools, but that's different. We're talking about the capitalism of you know, the people that are just trying to capitalize from the industry. And so I think that's one of the biggest problems. I think there's no barbers stepping up to be able to solve these problems. I think that there's very few people that are willing to do it.
It's too hard for them to do it, Nino. Unfortunately, in Florida, to open a barber school. So look at this. First, that you can't do on your own the process with the Department of Education. You have to hire a specialist. You won't be able to do on your own. It's so many requirements, so many documents, and then you have to have the space already ready, meaning you have to rent the space, you have to renovate the space, you have to get approval from the city for the occupancy. This takes months, and you're paying rent and you're renovating. Only after the school is ready, that's when you can apply with the Department of Education. And this can take 9 months to 1 year until you get a hearing for them to actually see if they're going to grant you the license. So you're paying all these overhead expenses, you build the whole place, and you cannot take students or advertise your school yet. So it's very difficult, and that's why
I think there's a certain amount of graduates that you have to have first, right, to be able to start like advertising.
Not for advertising. As soon as they grant you the license, it's a provisionary license. It's not the, and then every year your school will be audited. They're gonna see your numbers. It's very strict, so it's hard to keep up. And then most barbers, if they learn about how it works, they give up. Like, how I'm gonna make it? It's too difficult. How I'm gonna come up with this whole structure, the money, put the place to operate, and I cannot get students for maybe up to a year.
Until they approve.
And then when you start, your school must be profitable since the first year. You cannot run on the red ever. So every year they check your finances, your numbers. You have to report to them so many things. And I think that's where schools get kind of lost in all these reports, which are numbers they have to show to the department. But in reality, what about the students, the quality of education they're getting? They're too focused on all these reports, attendance, how many students, how many graduate, how many got licensed, how many got employment, whatever. And they forget about the quality of the education. That's what frustrates us. And schools, they give them one mannequin head for a whole year, of course. Like, what the heck? How are you going to practice?
That's insane.
And the student is paying $15,000, $20,000, and they have to stay there for a year, 14, 15 months.
And let's not talk about how they push you on to they want you to do a barber stylist, which is It's okay. That's awesome, because I believe that there should be more barbers that are able to do other stuff than just cutting hair, doing color and stuff like that. But not everybody wants to do that, right? Not everybody has the
Exactly.
time because here, at least in the state of Florida, it's 1,200 hours for barbers.
Now it's 900.
900.
900.
They
Okay,
dropped.
so they dropped it,
Thanks
versus
God.
versus 600 hours for barber restricted.
Restricted.
You know what I mean?
They don't offer the restricted barbering. It's awful.
No, because they make more money off of the barber side. So another thing that happens too, a lot of these academies, the barber's educator is a stylist. That
Yeah.
doesn't-
He's not a
that doesn't
barber.
know jet. You know what I mean? Like,
He doesn't know how to fade hair.
yeah.
He can't teach beard because he doesn't do it.
Yeah, they
That's
want to
so
keep the students there longer to make more money. So that's so
That's a broken system.
Yeah.
Keeping you there for more time than you need to collect more money from you. Like, it doesn't make
But
any
if
sense.
you ask, out of 10 students, if they liking to do rolls and chemicals, they don't want to do that.
They don't
They
want
just
to.
learn how to cut hair, how to fade, how to use the shears, your clippers, and shave beards. That's what
That's
all
it.
they want. They should have that strict barber for them always.
So-
That's
But
the
most
part
school
of
doesn't have.
the solution we're creating. We're doing a program that it's not available in Florida. We're the only ones having. And honestly, I thought the Department of Education would not approve us. Even our consultant that helped with the process, they were scaring me like, Ligia, I don't think they're going to accept that. It was too much for them, too different.
Yeah, because nobody is what is it? God didn't give them the vision; they gave it to you.
That,
They're not
that's
they're not
powerful.
they're not supposed to
Very.
understand what
That's
what,
powerful.
the vision that God has given you.
Accept
So
them.
people will always tell you, oh, that you can't do something that they're not willing to do. You know. So
that's true.
they push. It happens all the time. People are just willing to push on their fears onto you because they in their mind they think that they can't do it. When you look at like the guy that ran a mile in 4 minutes, how many people said that was impossible? How many people do it today? That it's a possible thing. So it takes that one person to
do.
change that to make it visible for people to believe. And we need people like you guys. We need that more. So I salute you guys. I hope you guys keep going, make it happen. I think one of the things that I was saying earlier was the system has been broken for the longest time, and barbers need to fight for it. If you really care for this industry, I think that a lot of them should be fighting to fix the situation. A couple years back, like 4 years back, I heard Chris Bazio, a good friend of mine, right? He always told everybody, "Hey, barbers, if you guys want to change stuff, start going to the barber board meetings. It's important. Nobody shows up. They do barber board meetings. So if none of our people is there to fight,
Our
and
plan
stand
is
for
to
us,
be there, right?
Yes, we plan to be there.
when we got closed down for COVID, everybody took it down and said, "Oh well, we're gonna get closed down for 2 months." Nobody was standing up and fighting. Like everybody had to, get their voice together to make it known to the governor of Florida that hey, we're willing to do everything it takes to be able to become a what was it back in that at that time they said that we weren't what was it like
Not essential.
not essential.
Not
Yes.
essential.
Not
That
That's the
we
word, yeah.
weren't essential people, right? Because
Yeah.
important peoples in the government needed haircuts. Your policemen needed their haircut like normal. You got the army. A lot of these army people they can't go for a long
Exactly.
time without a haircut. So how you asking so much from them, but we're the ones that take care of them, and you're gonna say that we're not essential.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we need to fight more. Like Chris Bosio was saying that he said that more people need to start going to the board and start complaining about the things that are not right in our industry,
Right.
because if not, other people are just gonna take advantage of those loops and capitalize on them
And they
Yeah.
do. Schools are very profitable. They make so much money.
big time. But it's like you say, majority of the time when they come out of school, they don't know anything. Florida doesn't have the ability to be able to do apprenticeship like other states do,
Yeah.
and create really good barbers. You know what I mean? I mean, some of them got bad habits, but we can't change that, right?
I think if they learn from the beginning the right way, and also these people finish school and then they can't succeed in the industry because then they don't have clients, they don't retain their clients. They can't grow because they don't know the skill.
And that is crucial.
It's awful.
That is crucial. That's one of the biggest. That's why the turnover rate of the barbershop is so bad, because a lot of the barbers can't capitalize in their first couple months, and they're like, this is not for me. And it's not because they don't have the talent. It's because in school they only teach you how to pass that 30 questions, because here in Florida it's only 30 questions.
For restricted barber.
For
the full barber is 100.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But they don't show that business part about it, that the marketing part about it.
Exactly.
There's a lot to it than just cutting hair, right? A lot of people say, I'm gonna go into the shop and cut hair. No, it takes more than that.
That's the good stuff about our school.
Yeah.
We are the first and only school that will be 100% the theory online. You can do.
So the Milady theory, it's all online. You don't need to come to school to look at Tico's face to see Milady on the screen.
And take that time to study and also have the time to be with the family and also make money, working. And we're not going to only teach the technical side of it. We're going to teach the professional side of the business as well. Teach them how to sell, how to work on their social media. Not in their finance, though, but at least we're going to give some hints. But we're going to prepare them for the market. In all terms, interviewing how they interview the shop owner, because they need to know what they get into. Not just the owner like, I have this for you and that's it. And then 3 months after, you're not making any clients, you're not making any money, you're not retaining them. So now I say, well, I got paid every week, but I'm getting this pay. I don't get new clients. I don't know how this works. And then you leave. And then the clientele that you built, you're going to lose because now you're going to another shop. And then if you keep jumping from shop to shop, what happened? You're going to get frustrated because you're not making money as well. So that's one thing.
So then you're going to think that it's the business is not working. But what's really not working is you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
See if that shop fits your vision.
Yes.
Because usually they come for a job interview and they don't ask questions.
Yes.
So actually you have to decide where you want to work. And we want to create this culture where don't jump from shop to shop. This is horrible for you. Find the right one. Find the right one. Go to different shops. Go as a client. Just sit there and watch the vibe. See if you see yourself there. Because jumping from shop to shop is bad for you as a barber. It's bad for the shop owner. It's bad for the clients that they don't know where you are. It's bad for the whole industry. And I don't think they teach that in school.
Nope.
So since he is a barber,
importantly, what is the right shop for you?
Yes,
that is a big question.
Exactly.
Like, what is a good shop for you? A lot of these students don't even know. They have no idea.
They just grab it the first opportunity, right?
Yep.
We're gonna be having we're gonna kind of have support from other barbershop owners. We're planning to have them on board with us. Like, so whenever the student finish, they have an opportunity to meet these people. Get to know more about the industry, the each shop aesthetic or the theme of the shop, the lifestyle of the shop, to understand,
culture.
okay, I want to go here. No, I don't want to go. I've been interviewed from this guy. I didn't like him, because all shops now, they have from 2 to 5 chairs empty. And we all need support. Me as a school, the student, we're going to have 3 groups of people. The student, ourselves, of course, the client, and also the barbershop owners, because we're going to put everybody together and say, look, this is what we have, what we can work it out to help these people,
Yeah, actually, the main goal is that now there's not a place where you can actually find barbers to hire. There's none. You post on your Instagram, hey, the shop is hiring. Maybe someone will see. You go on Indeed, you don't find barbers on Indeed.
Yes.
It's hard to find barbers. So the school has this very important role of connecting the students to the barbershops that are hiring. But unfortunately, the schools are not preparing these students for employment with actual hands-on knowledge. So even if they connect students with shop, the students are not able to actually succeed in that job. So our education will be completely different. The hands-on part is 100% hands-on. It's like real hands-on. Plus advanced techniques that Tico learned from Josh LaMonaca, Vidal Sassoon. He's preparing that that student to succeed, to know how to cut hair and do gray beard,
And
plus
graduate.
soft skills, customer service, selling, marketing. And after they graduate, they're going to have lifetime support where they can come for classes. So let's say you graduated, 3 months later, you're like, you know what? I'm having a hard time doing mullets. So you can schedule, we have certain dates, you can come for free, you don't pay for that. And you can bring a model or a mannequin head, and Tico will help with your specific question. So we're going to give support after they graduate as well.
Awesome.
And workshops, since we can graduate them and license them in 3 months. It's like the shortest program ever.
You're telling me
3 months.
that they can do it now in 3 months
In our
versus taking
school.
6 months, and they can do it from home.
All the theory, yeah. Plus they come for 2 months for the actual practical. So it's 2 months of
Within what
hands-on.
range can they do this? Because I mean, let's talk about this,
It's great.
because you guys are creating a concept that I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are gonna take you guys on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just sign me up, because I can be home in my PJs and I can study, which a lot of people hate being in school, because
Right.
the theory, that's the most boring part for a lot of these students, you know.
Right.
And regardless of what, sometimes they don't even learn it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They really don't learn it,
Got
because
so much going on in their
Because
life.
when you
They're
go-
not even there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
you know, but the school is obligating them to be there because they
Attendance.
need to
It's
do the
awful.
attendance.
It's awful.
You know what I mean? So what's going to be the range of the people that would be able to join that academy?
What do you mean range?
Like, how far? Because you said they don't need to come to school. I mean, they won't have to come in
Right.
until
For the theory.
2
So-
months.
Yeah, so the program has the theory part, which is
Okay.
going to be 450 hours because it's the restricted program.
Mhm.
We have the platform online. We put our personality, what we believe the students need there. So the theory they can study from home at their own pace. They can finish as fast as 1 month, 30 days.
Mhm.
If they need more time, fine. They can take 2 months, 3 months. But of course, you don't want to procrastinate, right? You want to be a barber, you want to start working. So you can do as fast as 1 month, 30 days. When you complete the whole theory, which is a couple chapters you have to learn, and this you don't need to be in school to learn. Now people learn things on YouTube. Why they need to be in school to learn things they can see a
A
video?
video on, yes.
Why? So they do on their own pace.
No, and the most horrible part about it is you go take your test,
Mhm.
and when you take your test, it's all about sanitation. So then when these kids come out of school, they're like, well, why did they make me go through all this if they're going to ask
Yes.
me about sanitation only?
So for the restricted program, is only about Florida laws.
Florida laws.
Yes. So it's a easier test. It's only 30 questions. You have to get 21 right to
Yep.
pass. If you don't pass, you can try again and again. It's fine. After they complete the whole theory, which they do from home, they don't need to come to school. Then they come for the practical, hands-on, and it's gonna be 7 weeks, almost 2 months, and they're gonna learn. Then Tico can talk about it, like all types of haircuts, even layered, non-layered, shears, afro, whatever. We're gonna teach.
So does it have to be
everything.
7 weeks?
It has because of the amount of hours,
Okay.
and also to not compromise the quality of the teaching. Because Tico has been doing this for a long time. He know how long it takes to prepare that person.
So I'm only asking for the viewers, right? Because I know they're gonna have this question. They're like,
Right.
well, maybe I can study, and I live in Tampa or I live in Jacksonville, and I can take a
Yes.
class. That's why I was asking you.
That's
know,
a great point.
How far around the radius?
But-
Because then people say, well, if I can study online, I'll get my license. But listen,
Yes. There's the
7
practical
weeks
side.
is hard for you to be out of your town and stop working where you're working. I mean, I doubt that you wanna rent an Airbnb for 7 weeks
Yeah.
or a hotel, right?
But you'd be
Just to get through
surprised how many people came from Boston to attend the workshops.
Yep.
Of course, we don't license them because it's a different state and we cannot license people from Boston. But they come and they stay. Because think about it. Regular school is taking you 12 months, 15 months of your life. And it's also preventing you from working because you have to be there in the morning, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Or if you do just night, which is prime time for
For
barbers,
barbers, yeah.
it takes longer because then it's considered part-time, not full-time. It takes maybe 15 months, right?
Yes.
So think about it. Maybe sacrificing 2 months of your life, 7 weeks of your life, and finding a room and renting and staying here, maybe doing Uber or whatever. You figured it out. It's just 7 weeks instead of 15 months.
And those
Yeah.
7 weeks, I create the program, the part of the methodology, where we're gonna learn everything: haircut, shaving beard, shaving bald head, facial shape, everything, all types of hair and length of beard and hair. So the 7 weeks, the methodology consists in the first like 4 weeks. We're going with the mannequins, of course, and then I'm gonna break it down the methodology, and then they practice in mannequin. Now they know the methodology, and then we're gonna bring it in models. So and then we practice it
It's
on models.
very effective.
Very effective. Is
Wow.
the secret? There's no secret. It's just repetition. You know, you know the methodology in the first week or 2 or 4. You know it now. That's what you need to do. You just repeat and refine that every time.
I see Tico taking a person from day one, like Monday. They just started, they never saw a clipper in their lives, and on Friday, 5 days later, they're doing a skin fade. This is like, whoa, how he
I
can
had
do
this
that
kid come from Boston. He did in 7 days. He learned.
from zero.
He was fast too. He's a fast learner. You know, he just looked at it once. I tell him once, and he did it, and I was impressed.
Yes.
Now, I got a huge question for you guys. You guys tell me 7 weeks of education, hands-on.
And depending on the calendar, if they take classes on Saturday, it's only 6 weeks. Not 7, 6.
6
Monday
weeks.
to Friday.
Okay.
Oh, Saturday. Monday to Saturday.
So this question, I'm going to ask it because I see it happening in a lot of schools. How are you going to have the foot traffic to keep that person busy in those 7 weeks?
Oh, that's easy.
Oh my, it's
Because
expensive.
schools, they go through problems. Majority of the biggest problems that these students have is they don't have enough repetition. Repetition in school, and they don't take it serious when we tell them. Because I go to schools and I volunteer my time too, and I tell them all the time, if you treat this like a business, it's gonna pay you like a business. So right now, if you go through the motions, you start promoting yourself and start giving cards and attracting people to your chair, you'll get more repetitions, you'll get better faster, and when you walk into the shop, you're ready to roll. And now you probably take 50% of the people that you gained at the school, you bring them with you to the shop.
100%.
So in those 6 weeks, or 7 weeks, how are you going to keep them busy to where repetition matters so much that
I
they're
know
taking
you're
advantage
concerned. Why? Because look, this is so interesting.
Very.
Your mind.
I'm
is-
trying to,
No,
I'm
but- Push
it,
challenging.
push it.
No, it's not a challenge.
Okay.
Your mind is looking at how it has been worked until now. They're keeping the students there for 1 year, 15 months. They're bored. They have nothing to do for 12 months. Honestly, they don't need to be there for that long. So they're bored because every day, plus they mix students in different levels every week or every month.
There's
New
a new group.
enrollment.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have this guy that is the first day, this guy 6 months, this guy is graduating. It's a mess. How you put them together? How do you mix the whole group together? So when you're there teaching, you have a guy that is understanding what you say because he's there for longer, and the other just my first day. I have no idea what Nino is talking about. So it's awful.
Yes, it
And
hurts.
we have
it
a
hurts,
solution for
it
that.
hurts the group. It's like you grabbing a first grader and putting them in a third grade
Exactly.
class.
That's it.
Yes.
Great explanation.
Yes.
And
Right.
then I think Tico has so much experience in training people fast because we couldn't hire skilled barbers. Tico had to come up with a solution. I need skilled barbers in my shop. How I grab this kid from school that knows nothing and I make him a great barber
Fast.
fast.
Yeah.
Because I can spend the whole year with the guy here.
You think repetition is
Key.
a biggest key?
Yes.
100%.
Because they're
Repetition.
constantly busy. They're constantly busy. It's muscle memory. It becomes a
If
muscle
you
memory
just
at that
teaching
time.
them maybe on a mannequin and teach them theory for a year,
They won't learn.
they won't
Yep.
learn. For a year, they won't learn. You need to teach them the methodology. Once they memorize the methodology, that's what I push. Memorize the technique. I need you to memorize. Step 1, memorize. Step 2. Once they memorize, they repeat. It's easy.
And plus,
That's it.
Tico doesn't make them confused. So you as a barber, you know probably 10 different ways of fading. And whenever you feel like you do away,
You
the
switch
other
it.
day.
You switch it up just so you don't get bored.
Yes. But when we're talking about a student, if you keep giving them
An
options, they
apprentice,
get
yeah.
confused.
Yes.
So you stick to the easiest one. And then after they develop, they learn, they're good, they're confident, then you can mention other ways. Or even if they watch a video, they will understand, oh, I can do differently. But we don't overwhelm them with too many options. And Tico found testing multiple times which one was easier, which
To
ones
learn for
they
apprentice.
understand. And
Yeah.
he
keep
sticks
it basic.
with it.
To keep it
I
basic.
started in one way. Might be the fourth time or sixth time that I
They
changed. Because I noticed, oh, this is so challenging for them. I need to find a better way, an easier way for them, for beginners, not beginners, for apprentice,
And
But-
another thing is the book. So Tico, what he did was he was training people for so long. He's giving workshops for so long, but we didn't have like an actual book in writing showing everything. So now he created this book. It's a workbook for the students, but it's available. Anyone can buy it because even if you were learning or if you were already a barber that didn't get enough
Repetition.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what the school taught them. So this book is amazing because each technique, each concept has a QR code that takes you to a video where Tico explain and break down step by step. So our students will be able to see at home and don't forget the steps. Or even after they graduate, it's there for them to check. But this book will be available to sell.
So pretty
to
much
anyone.
they'll stay part of that community as an alumni. Correct?
This is something else, not about the book. So the alumni, we're gonna have it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're,
Boss.
after the graduation. But this book, it's a
I'm going too fast.
you
right now.
are that's after their graduation.
The book is part
You're
of
too
the
fast.
the book is part of the material. It's about 230 pages. When you ask about, here's your answer. When you ask about how are you gonna keep them occupied,
Busy for 7
busy,
weeks?
but learning something, not just
Yes.
doing rollings in their head. So 250 pages of my methodology. You're gonna learn every single thing you need to be ready. Every single thing, and every day is intensive. 4 hours intensive will be right around
Yeah,
that.
4 hours each class.
Intensive.
Because we notice also. So we're talking about barbers. We're talking about how we notice most of them have ADHD. If you keep them in school for 6-7 hours,
You lost them.
Mm-hmm.
they're
You
not
lost 'em.
learning. It has to be quick and engaging
It's like
and fast.
it's like a kid in kindergarten when they're like that you gotta keep them busy. The biggest thing that they say is that I'm here to cut hair.
Exactly.
That's what I wanted to do. I want to cut hair.
99%.
That's
So
what I want to do.
Tico's classes, what I notice, because
Even there in an event, yes, what are you gonna talk, right?
no,
Like they disperse the
no, I was gonna talk about how he keeps his students
Oh, okay.
engaged when he does the workshops. Now, of course, we're gonna be in school, we can license people, so it's different. But his classes are super engaging because he's not wasting time with boring theory. The theory they will study at home, they need. So they will study at home at their own pace. If they're bored, they do the next day or whatever. They can distribute the time how they want it. They can do pauses.
And it makes so much sense because not everybody learns at the same pace.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing. Another big key is some of these kids, if they call out one day, they miss that curriculum. They miss that part of theory. So if they
Right.
do it on their own pace, well, the longer you take, to graduate, right?
Yes.
Which is what happens in the regular school. But it happens to a point too, to where the new person comes in at the end of that curriculum, or that other person comes in and ends up in the middle of that curriculum.
It's so
then
messy.
by the time they go back to that situation, they done already forgot.
It's so messy the way they do
We're
it.
gonna have
mixing
everybody on
the
the same
students.
level.
Yeah,
Man,
because
I'm
the
so-
practical labs, when you start, you have to go from day one until the end.
Whose vision was this? I feel like
Tico
it don't
and
sound
half
like it.
mine.
It sounds
Don't
like
sound like it.
It don't sound
You know
like
why?
it. Sounds like
You know why it don't
sounds
sound like?
Half and
Ligia
half.
has it all written
No.
out. She has a. She
no.
has a.
You know
His
why?
idea.
You know why?
His idea.
Because I spoke to Danny yesterday on the event.
Yes.
The biggest ability people can have in in all time is communication, and she explains better. As you can
True.
see,
Okay.
that's how you feel it.
I can
Yes,
put the
yeah.
words nicely and organized, and Tico will be all over the place
I'll be
because
explaining here, excited, but
he's hyper.
Yeah.
And I explain better. But that was his idea. And he was like very fascinated about teaching and how can I make this better. And he created a book.
and
he's
she was like, "Don't change anymore, please."
yeah, stop
Because
changing
she's the one
book.
that in the back end, like, "Hey,
Please
is
don't
that-
change."
Is that okay?
I was
5
mad
times.
because he was changing all the time. Like, stop changing. I'm tired.
Because it's so crazy. Because from one idea jumps to another idea. Oh, wait a minute! But we can do this and we can do that. So that's fascinating, right? That you're able to be that part of him. Because it really sounds like if it was her idea. Like
No,
she
it
has
was
it down
his
packed.
idea.
You know.
Since we have just like a 10 student at a time, I can put my focus on each one. Like it will be almost like a private, 10 students, nothing in terms of like the class is small. I can give attention to everybody. One move wrong, I can see and I can help you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't let it pass. You need to repeat it until you get it.
Yep.
That's it.
Then that's part of discipline. That's a good
part
thing.
of discipline.
That's a part of discipline. I remember when my wife she became a stylist. She was working for Paul Mitchell salon, and one of the things that they made her do was she had to record herself doing blow dries. And she was upset. She was like, I don't know why they have me doing this because I already know how to do it. And they wanted her to go through the repetition. And the repetition, she had to put the phone on time lapse and actually show that she was actually doing it and going through the situation. And then when it got to the to the boss or whatever, they didn't even see the whole video. They just seen the final result. And she was upset. She's like, well, you just wanted to see the final result. I would have taken a picture. No, they wanted to see that you were going through it. And then if you did something wrong, do it again until you actually got it right. And now she's grateful for that. She says that she has, a lot of her
She
clients
does the
that
best
she
blow
does
dryers.
good blow dries. But if it wasn't because of that, because it was somebody that really cared about what you were bringing onto her, that was caring about what they were bringing onto the team, and to elevate their stylists or their barbers, she wouldn't be the person that she is now.
Yes.
You know?
Repetition
Yes.
makes her like an expert in doing that.
Give them what they need, not what they want. That's what I do with my
Yes.
students. Is because when I look at them and they make, should I do this? Should I learn? Should I do this way? It's not this way. It's easier. I know they can do it the other way, but let's stick with this. Let's learn the basic first, and then you repeat that. And I give them what they need always, and they don't understand, but I'm already seeing like a week from
Ahead of
now
them. Yep.
ahead of them.
And another thing about the school is that what I noticed is that most schools, they're not really nice, like the furniture, the barber chairs. Yeah, I don't think they, as we're talking about, they're thinking more about the profits and not about the comfort of students.
Yep.
Or the kit they give to students is horrible. Some schools are still giving them cord machines.
Clips with cords.
Brother, I've
Like-
seen that. I'm like, what the?
What the heck?
Like we're in
The
a
aes-
different.
You know what? The environment, aesthetic, it helps you keep you motivated.
Exactly.
Especially
I
young
agree.
people. Most people that are starting this industry, most are young.
Yeah.
They have a different mindset. They
and
look
it's
at.
old school, old furnitures.
I choose my dentistry by the aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like they have modern equipment, they nice look, the customer service different. You
wanna-
book at everything online, so that mindset is my mindset. But some people, and when I go there, it smells good. It doesn't smell like a rotten
So,
something.
What's the biggest thing in barbering?
What do you mean?
in terms of what? Sanitation.
Sanitation.
Oh, yeah.
So why
The
are
schools are-
not? Why isn't the board fighting for these places to be in a better position?
That's why we're gonna be at the board fighting for better education. We're gonna
Yeah,
be there.
so
But,
I was
you
talking
get what I mean.
about...
Not only that, just let's enforce people to have sanitate like
Standards.
night. You can't
Nicest-
tell me. You cannot tell me that a broken chair, with the foam out, and hairs falling on it, that is not sanitation.
Right.
So many shops.
But
I've seen
think
so many
about
shops.
it. If you went to school and the school was like that, you kind of whatever. That's how it is.
But it doesn't make it right because
It doesn't.
Our biggest key in the industry is sanitation. Number one. Sanitation goes over theory, goes over
with people.
Public
Yes.
safety and
Public safety.
sanitation.
Yeah.
So why isn't the barber industry, like with the board, fighting that these people got to have their shops up to par, up to a certain
But that's
expectation?
what I was saying about it
When you
starts
do-
with the base.
Yeah.
So when they become barbers, they're not receiving great education. The school is not great. That's what I'm saying about. And then they become
But not-
employees or shop owners. And then it's just like whatever. They
But
don't really care.
we can't blame just the school, right?
But that's where it starts.
We got to blame the board also, because
Yeah.
if the inspector only comes one time a year or
It's once
Just
every
check
2
your
years.
numbers.
one time every 2 years,
That's
then
what's in the
there's-
law.
so
Once every 2 years.
what's the difference between sanitation on cutting hair and sanitation as a health department? If the kitchen ain't clean,
Right.
somebody's getting fined. Somebody's getting in trouble.
Right.
So what's happening with the barber industry?
But my point with the school, let me try to clarify what I mean. So if you set people for greatness, they will act and behave differently. So if my school is great, and that's what we're working with, very modern, we don't have these old whiteboards. We have like smart boards. We have the very expensive chairs for students. It's not this $800 chair. We are striving for greatness, and we're going to put them in this environment. This is how it should be. This is the standard. They won't accept less than that, because from the base, from their first early stages as a barber, they know what is great.
Nobody downgrades.
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody like to downgrade.
That's my
Nobody
point. Now
downgrades.
you get
Yeah.
it.
It's true.
That's my point.
People downgrade, but they don't like to downgrade.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I'm
awful
saying?
when you
It
downgrade.
makes them feel uncomfortable.
So if they are in this amazing environment as a school, they're gonna want.
I think that everything starts there because imagine now, if all student has that standards, like I like to work with a great quality of tools. I like to work at a nice shop. Since
Dress
my school was
nice.
like dress nice, having professionalism, working on both sides, the technique and
Clean
professional
shop.
clean. And those students will demand a better shop.
Or they'll
So-
become better shop owners.
Or become a better shop owners. And what happened? The industry culture will start changing.
So
That's
the
everything.
main reason we're doing what we're doing, because we wanted to create a big impact. And we noticed that just like one or other workshop or having a few barbers working for us, we couldn't change the industry. So we noticed that the only way to really change the industry is bringing new barbers with new standards to occupy the barbershops,
the market.
and they're gonna be the change. They're gonna change the industry, because older barbers, 20, 30 years as a barber,
Be careful, I'm 22.
but unfortunately, you guys have to agree
How
with
long you
me.
been in the industry?
I've been cutting hair since I'm 13, so like 16, 17 years old.
But how
27,
many
17.
barbers you
But I've
know that are not like you? You are looking for improvement. You're studying.
Yes.
You're looking for self-development, professional development. How many barbers are stuck?
Very few. I mean, very few are looking for growth.
Looking for it to grow.
But
Yep.
then now we have a new generation of barbers, and the old traditional barber school, it's not
But you-
working.
But you want to know something? I feel like the new generation, we're able to impact. We can't impact the ones that are already, they've been in the
Yeah.
game for such a long time. Some of them are trainable, some are attainable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But some of them are majority of them are not going to be.
their minds
Yeah.
are crystallized already.
If we want to see the future 10 years from now, where do we see the barber industry in 10 years? This is why we got to keep working now.
Exactly.
This is why we have to do it now. Forget about the ones that are saying, oh, but you're crazy or you're a lunatic. No, we're not talking about now. If you love this industry, we're going to do it to change it in the next 10 years. If my son wants to become a barber, I know that he's going to be in a good industry because we did something. Because we
Yes.
created something that actually matters now. Because barbers 10 years back, 20 years back, we didn't matter. We,
Yeah.
We
we
didn't
weren't
matter.
respected.
Yeah.
Now you have all of these kids, all these young kids that want to become barbers because of what they're seeing. We're one of the highest paid trades
Yes.
right now. One of the highest
And
paid
people,
trades.
so many people don't know that yet.
But
Yes.
but we got to be careful because some people will come to take but not to give.
not to give.
Mhm.
Yes.
You understand what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's good that you guys are actually doing this, and I love it because you guys, I can feel the passion and on how much you guys really want to do for the industry.
We're obsessed.
Very.
Tico
I
is
can tell.
lunatic, and we're obsessed. And I share the passion because I'm not a barber, but as you see, like I have sparkle in my eyes because I share the passion about how education changed people's lives. That's the only way you can change someone's life.
You know what changed the subject a little bit? Not change the subject. Within the subject, the rise of new educators. Maybe not in the United States, but Europe, other countries. United States is going very slow on that one, but it's still, even if it's slower, the rise of new educators. And this new educator is the new era of barbers with a different mindset, with a different approach. So the more those people have out there, the more we're gonna go faster with this transition to good to great.
Yep.
I agree.
I
Right?
agree.
Yeah, we need people actually being proactive and doing
Proactive,
something.
yeah.
And these
But-
new educators are making the change.
Listen, I want to tell all these students that are watching, the new people, the new folks, pay attention to who you pay attention to.
Oh yeah.
Not everybody is the right educator to put you in the right place. All right, we got too many people that are pacing out there. That they're what we call pacers for a lot of the skaters. They say pacers wannabes, right? I'm not taking away. Listen, if whoever's doing it, they can do it, and I'm not downing nobody. But a lot of these students need to pay attention who they're paying attention to.
Oh yeah, who
All
they're
right?
believing
That is a
and following.
big thing. That is crucial because some people can mislead you in the wrong way.
Oh yeah.
They can show you how to cut hair, but not be a good barber. It's two different things.
Two different
Yes,
things.
and now I see a rise of coaches just talking about making more money, scaling your price. We gotta be careful with that. There is a process. You
Yes.
don't go from $30 haircut to $300 haircut in a month, in 3 months. There is a step. You need to be mature in some things. It's more than just charging more. There's so many things involved. And also, I'm concerned a little bit about the rise of people leaving school and going on suites by themselves. This is not an issue for me, but the issue for me is you're lacking the barbershop experience,
Yes.
learning from others that have more experience than you. Because in the
Yes.
suite, you're alone. You don't learn much. And the shop brings that knowledge, how to deal with difficult customers, watching other barbers next to you doing different things. I think this is so important.
Even learn with the owners, the responsibilities the owners have, that at the suite, you're going to have the same responsibilities. Because you
Yeah.
There's a lot.
right?
A lot of stuff that our barbers don't understand. They come into a shop and well, that's not my job. Well, let me tell you something. That's the wrong mentality. Because if it's not your job, it's never going to be your job. Right? And the
Yeah.
day that it is your job, you're never going to know how to do it.
Yeah.
Because you didn't take ownership when you
Right.
had the opportunity. So it's very important for a lot of these students that want to go into a suite. Don't do that. Go into a shop.
Yes.
Learn-
Get experience,
go-
real life
go-
experience first.
Go through the motions. Learn. It's a journey.
Yes.
It's not about I'm my own boss. No, go through the journey. Go through. You're gonna cap out a certain point. At a certain point, you're gonna cap out in the shop. You're gonna be okay. Now it's time
Now it's
to
time
make a
for a
move.
suite. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can only grow as much as you grow, as much as you've grown if you work by yourself. But when you have
Yes.
people around you, especially if you have a good group of people that are challenging you to be better, or when you see somebody else's haircut and you have that friendly competition to where you're like, ooh,
I
he's
gotta
cutting hair.
improve.
I gotta improve.
I got to improve.
You understand what I mean?
That's a good competition.
Yes,
It-
because now
it sets you to
your client sees it, the barber next to you cuts a good hair. Now you know that you can become replaceable. So what do? It's good for yourself.
Yes.
It's good for yourself. You put yourself in an uncomfortable situation to become comfortable at some point.
Exactly, and
Right?
challenge yourself to be
Yes.
better. Our team, it's nice to see that they are always helping each other. And sometimes one gets frustrated, like, oh, I didn't like this haircut. And the other comes and say, hey, I can give you some tips on how you can do better. So they're always helping and learning. It's amazing to see how they teach each other, how they share experiences. Or if a client was maybe mean and the other come and say, hey, next time, say like that, do this, do that. It will calm down the situation. And it's awesome to see they're sharing in a suite. Nothing wrong with the suite, but don't jump from school to a suite. I don't think it's the best move.
And that mentality of I'm just a barber behind the chair, that's broke mentality. That's broke mindset, because since the day one you start working at the shop, you're a business owner.
Yep.
You were talking about it. You want to talk more about that?
Yes, a lot of people don't understand that, right? If you're 1099, a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm my own boss. I'm my own boss. Nobody has to tell me nothing because I'm a 1099. I pay my own taxes." But you don't act like one sometimes. Sometimes the bathroom is dirty. Your client uses that bathroom, and you don't even help out to clean the bathroom because you say it's not your business. It is your business because you take care of your people in that business. So your business is within a business. It's the same thing. You go get you a suite. The owner has a place, but you still have to take care of it.
Yes.
It is the same exact thing. And
it's
school
funny.
doesn't teach us, but this is one of the biggest problems that I have, right? A lot of these kids, they say, "Well, I went to school. School's not enough." Right? One of the things that I heard you say earlier, you said I spent thousands of dollars in continuous education. If you wouldn't have done all that continuous education, would you be confident to open up a school? Would you be confident in speaking? Would you be confident in showing what you're showing now if you would have just stayed with the basic knowledge of school?
Never.
You are what is within you.
Yes.
You present to people, you portray yourself to people who you are, who you know, what you have as an information in your brain. That's it. That's who you are. The more information you have, the more you can spit it out. You know what I'm saying? Even we can talk about the technical side of it, the public speaking side of it, the business side of. You need to learn new things to have new results in life. You know, to be able to accomplish new things, you need to learn new things. That's easier. I think that's a cliche, right? But it is very simple. You know,
we're in this journey of learning and improving and looking for more and being the best version of ourselves every day and always learning. And that's how we could go from one barbershop to 3 businesses and growing. There's the online education as well. Tico has an app, Invictus Barber Academy. It's on Apple, Google. There's hundreds of hours of classes, from mentality to actual haircuts, podcasts. The Black Belt Barber podcast is there in the app. Actually, if you download the app, Invictus Barber Academy, the podcast is free to watch, and then the classes are paid content, but all the podcasts are there and it's free. And we're investing so much in the industry to give back and to change people's mentality. But before we change someone else's mentality, we have to change ours first.
Yes.
We have to grow first.
I'm a firm believer. Like I was saying, if you would have never taken those, if you would have never gone through that growth, you wouldn't have the confidence to be able to give somebody else part of your growth. Part of your knowledge, part of the stuff that you invested in. And some people take that lightly, to where, oh, well, it's all right. They brush it off. You trying to give them good advice or anything like that, but they don't see what you went through. Everybody wants what you have, but nobody wants to go through what you went through.
When we were talking about be careful with who you're following, who you're believing, I think the best filter to know, it's see that person's result and see if that's the result you want. It's one thing faking on Instagram, and another thing is what they're actually living. So Tico can be great here, I can be great here talking, but how do I treat my barbers, my team, how I treat my community, how we treat each other, what do we have as results in life? So the best filter now for me, when I want to have a mentor or someone I want to teach me something, I want to see who that person is outside the business as a person, how he treats his family, his wife, his kids, how he treats his money, what are his values, what is important for him.
Values are very important, and a lot of people don't understand that.
It's not just about the money. Money, you can get money in different ways. You can get rich in different ways, but what about your values? How you treat people. Are you loyal to them? Are you honest? Are you faking? Are you real? And on social media, everybody's successful.
Yep.
Everybody's a CEO of nothing.
Yep.
They're a CEO of what?
It's
Like,
so
do you have
true.
employees to be a
It's
CEO?
it's so true, and barbers are
They're
big about it.
CEO
They're big.
about what? You have your own chair. Have you ever managed people? Have you ever have a group working for you? This is a big challenge. Different people in the same environment, right?
Yeah.
So, are you CEO of what? What did you accomplish?
And we're not talking about owning, and we're not talking about owning like a business or anything like that, right? Because obviously we know very successful people, that don't own a business. We say it, and I say it humbly in a matter of, when you look at multi-million-dollar companies like Walmart. You have that person the owner of Walmart doesn't come to Walmart and run the place. No, they have somebody that runs the place for them. So that doesn't mean that person's not a successful person because he doesn't own it. But that person has done his homework, has studied, had managed a business that has made millions of dollars for that owner. And that person is respected by the owner because of what they're able to do.
Exactly.
One of the things that, Bill Gates. Bill Gates says, I'm not the smartest person on the planet. I just hire the smartest people to work for me.
Yes. So true.
So who's successful? He's successful, but so are the people that are working for him. So don't feel downfall. I'm trying to say this for a lot of the students, right? Or a lot of the new people that are coming up. A lot of people say, well, it's his, he's a business owner. He should take responsibility for that. Back to responsibility. No, learn it. Because you can become a good piece in your barbershop where you become a good asset to that business.
Yes.
All right?
And great
100%.
opportunities can come
Yes.
from that. Maybe
Yes.
the owner can offer, hey, I'm opening a new shop. Do you want to be my partner?
Yep.
Because he see you have this leadership, you have this attitude, you're taking care of the shop, taking care of the people.
Have the
Or
drive.
do you want to be the manager? But he could invite you to be a partner, or you could invite him to be your partner. Why not?
It's like me. I don't own the barbershop. My buddy Davo owns the barbershop. But I treat it like it was mine. I treat it with leadership because I take ownership for what we're supposed to do. If I don't have leadership, I'm being a bad example for the rest of the group.
Yes. You're setting the tone for them.
Yeah. So even if the owner doesn't want to set the tone, somebody has to set the tone. Yes. Somebody has to do something different to change something because I know that my moment is coming, and when my moment comes,
You'll
I'm
be
gonna
ready, prepared.
Yes.
Yep.
You have the
You know what I'm saying?
experience.
So.
What advice you give? I'm interviewing you now. What are you? I got my own.
Yeah.
What advice you, Nino, give to barbers that now they work inside a barbershop now as a collaborator, as a employee, whoever a barber working for somebody else right now? What advice or a step by step that they can take towards become a business owner, a barbershop owner? You.
I would say pay attention. Pay attention to the place that you're at. If you don't like things, don't criticize it. Try to change it. Try to make a difference within that business. We all know that barbershop owners are not going to do exactly everything that you want it to be done, right? Because it's their business. It's not yours.
Yes.
But you got to set your part to where you understand that when your time comes, I'm going to take my pros and my cons and I'm going to apply them to where to my business when I get my chance, right? But it starts at your chair. Most importantly, it starts at your chair. You can't be a hypocrite and say, well, the owner doesn't do this. Well, you're the owner of your chair. Why are you not doing it? You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So it happens to a lot to where they say, well, the owner's not here, so I'm not going to come in. No, it doesn't work like that. Oh, the owner didn't open the shop, so I'm not going to open the shop. No, you got to open up the shop for your chair, for your people, right?
Doesn't matter who's coming.
Doesn't matter.
Who does what, I'm going to be there,
Yep.
right?
And educate yourself. If the barbershop owner's not educating himself, do your part. Do your due diligence, is it right? And learn. So when you get your chance, you're able to shine. Opportunities pop up out of that. Also, you can attract certain people to your chair that the barbershop might not be attracting. I'm big on that. My goal is I got a goal right now to where I said I got a list of people that I want to attract to my chair for certain reasons. One day, we all talk about being a millionaire, right? If we're gonna be a millionaire, we need a good lawyer, a good accountant.
True.
You need somebody. If you ever want to buy a jet, you need somebody to sell you a jet. So who are we attracting to our chair? It's the same thing as a business owner. What is a business owner attracting to that business? Treat your chair like the business, and you'll be successful.
Wow, that's great.
Wow. Great.
I'm
Nino.
interviewing you now.
No, that's not your show.
He's like,
not your
no, but it's
podcast.
awesome. It's awesome. I like that.
Now, once they asked the IBM founder, what do you have done to become so successful? He say, I treated my little company, which is was only him, as a big corporation from the day one.
Yep.
I did what the big corporation did, since I was the only one employee of my company. What I would say about that is just act like you're a business owner from the day one, and learn with the business owner, learn with the co-workers, learn by yourself, reading books, go and search for as much education possible. You can go in workshops, do whatever, but do your part,
Yep. And I think what Nino said about who sits in your chair, barbers have this amazing thing that I love about how many interesting people sit in your chair. Create a connection. Ask, what do you do? Ask questions. You might have the answers in your chair. How do I achieve this? And the guy will say, hey, I know how to help you. I work with that. I can make it happen for you. So talk to your client. Know your client, because you need that network to help you.
I'm the biggest person that says, if you don't ask the right questions, you will never get the right answers. 100%. And you don't know if you're asking the right question until you ask them.
You know about this question, an example, interesting example. So Tico is not the best with technology. He does a lot of things.
I learned how to turn on my computer.
No, imagine, he comes from a countryside. He never seen a computer. He didn't receive education. He saw a computer when he moved to America. He never had a phone. So it's all new for him. And then we needed to create some images using AI. And if you don't give the right command, you don't create the image you want. Yep. So that's the right question. And then Tico was frustrated in the beginning, like, it's not creating the image I want. And then I look what he was typing, I changed, and the image came. So I said, it's because you're not asking correctly.
Yes. That's for the new generation. You're going to have to ask the right questions to get the right answers, or to get the right reflection, right? It can't be tiptoed. It has to be written correctly or asked correctly for you to get answered correctly.
100%.
All right, man. And there's so much that I would love to talk about. Talking about
conversation could go.
You just
could
popped
stay
out
3
so
hours
much. There's so many things that I want to talk about on my podcast, and I'm grateful that you guys touched so much. I think we went over time because you told me an hour, and we're like an hour and 40 minutes right now.
It's okay. The conversation was good.
It's awesome. But yeah, for those of you that don't follow Tico, don't follow Invictus Barber Academy, don't follow the Black Belt Barber podcast, make sure you guys follow them. If you guys ever need a studio, they got this amazing studio, beautiful. I want to thank them for letting us be here today, right? For letting us host this and have a couple interviews out here in Coconut Creek. So if you can, show them some love. Go follow them on all the platforms. Make sure you get in contact with them. Go visit them at Invictus Barbershop. I know they like visitors to come check them out, right?
Everyone is welcome. Awesome. All barbers from everywhere, all welcome to your shop.
So,
we love meeting people.
So stay in touch. Find out what they're coming out with next. If you don't follow them, you're not going to know when this is happening. Watch when they launch out the Invictus Barber Academy. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that bell so you get your notifications. Until next time, this is brought to you by the Black Belt Barber Podcast here at Invictus Podcast Studios. Let's go.